you can get used to scoring, all right? And then we'll actually not a sacrifice. I have to introduce our MC for the evening. I'm sorry. Back in 2009, when I first coached META4 Houston, he was on my team back then, and he's had a great career as an MC. He was an amazing poet, and he's come back and he wanted to pour back into these young people. Y'all, can we clap for our MC, Ashton Travis?
Good evening, everybody. Doing good?
Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say poetry, and I want you guys to say lives, okay? Poetry.
Lives.
Poetry.
Lives.
One more time. Poetry.
Lives.
Exactly. That's what we're here for tonight. Poetry does live. It also gives these kids a chance to use their voices, to tell stories, to tell truths. Some of these kids, it's their first and only time being heard, and maybe their only time being understood. So we're gonna respect the stage, we're gonna respect the mic, we're gonna give everybody love. And our first sacrificial poet is, from what I'm told, a former champ of this very team that we're here to fill out. Everybody give a round of applause for Samaya.
META4 plus 4, we a compromise.
Congratulations.
Black girls have so much in common with Mary. They drink from the fountains of life and pray along the stars of the ghetto. But their father is not of perfection, and their love only expands as much as his legs do. When I stopped at Bissonnette, I saw a man on his knees for Mary, praising her with his mouth, making her thighs a shrine of lies. I saw another Mary looking for God in the corner store, fiending for a white-coped burning bush. It's funny how the names of unfortunate black girls could fill a chapter of the Bible. But King James would rather lay with them than translate their tears. Mary's father's motive is not as holy as the one she prays to. And the land of gold he promises her are only given when she gives up her milk and honey. Mary, did you know that your womb is also a grave? Nazia Harris, did you know that the abortion of a monster's baby should not have left you breathless as the plagues? Malia Davis, did you know that your father's rage should not have been ignored like your 3-year-old cries? Now all we have left of you are a shrine of murals and sunny sides. Sometimes I wonder, what do black girls wait for after they get dropped off by a lust-filled Joseph? Then I realize they too are waiting on a miracle.
That was fire, right?
Yeah.
Now the first poet to the stage. Oh, I'm sorry, what are the scores, judges? My bad. They didn't write it down. Okay. We have an 8.4. We have an 8.5. We have a 9.3. We have a 9.5. And we have a 10. I like that. I like that. I like your energy too, everybody, honestly. Yeah? Okay. The first poet now, let's give a warm welcome for Charlie.
The words that I say won't make me any more of a man
man, but Mama, I am a man. Mama, you have a son and he's right there. You have 3, count. 1, oldest and academic prodigy. 2, middle and lost in life. 3, youngest and wonderful star. But Mama, one of those sons is a traitor. One of them was born female, and Mama, he hates it. It's the second one, Mom. Mama, the second one was born in the wrong body. It wasn't a fault of yours. It was a fault in the universe. Fate carved his blood the second he was decided onto a graveyard and a birth certificate. The second one, alive in the wrong era, learning to ride a bike in the silent suburbs where the words gay and transgender were as taboo as his race. The second one, where he was never a man because men aren't born as a she. Why won't you see? Mama, I'm not blaming you. None of this is your fault. I feel accountable for all the tears and the fears over being queer. I think I'm lost. I was confused, Mama. I was confused, and I don't know what to do with these feelings and this body and this soul when I used to be a boy. When I used to be a boy. Mommy, I'm scared of the government. I'm scared of who I can be without being me. I want to hide in your arms and be a little girl. Please tell me everything is all right. Mommy, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to live if I have to be through this. I don't want to be queer, Mommy. I don't want to be here. Please, just tell me everything is all right. Mommy, can you drive me to Vietnamese school again while we sing Just Give Me a Raisin in the car with our windows down so I can just give you a reason why everything will be all right? It's lonely in my head. I know I'm lost in life, but can you guide me back? Can you give me my manhood how you did with the first and the third? Although I know you don't have a second, I can't help but blame us both. Maybe if I was an X and a Y instead of 2 X's and a Y, we'd be okay. Maybe if I was normal, we'd be okay with this. But Mommy, when I came out, you didn't have to cry. This isn't your fault, unlike this, Mommy. Everything is all right. The sun is setting and the moon is rising. The little girl in the suburbs is heading home and the boy on the stage is rising up. Don't mourn the daughter, Mama. Celebrate the son. I love you, Mom. You're the best person I know.
Keep that ball going while we get the score. I like that. Judges, you ready? Okay. We have a 7.8. I know. We have an 8.9. Make some noise. We have a 9. We have another 9. And we have a 9.9. That's good. Next poet coming to the stage, give a loud and warm welcome to Zinnia.
To kill a mockingbird, where the wild things are. The hate you give Julian is a mermaid. None of these books have ever killed anyone. They shoot bullets of truth, not lead, bleed words, not smoke, kill lies, not kids, yet they've been banned. And guns remain. In math class, we learn about proportions and percentages, but I'm busy calculating how 12 kids die from gun violence every day in this country. And that's 5 times more youth than die from drowning, but we're drowning in dead youth, families divided, their quotient is heartbreak and misery and astral subtraction. In science class, we learn about Newton's laws. The force of a bullet through a body is equal to the unimaginable weight of fear placed on a kid's shoulders multiplied by the acceleration of a heartbeat. We stop forever. Any moment we learn about the human body under stress. During a school shooting, students' lungs burned, every breath that may be their last, blood through the veins and arteries to their hearts and back, adrenaline coursing, wrapped in their own terror and the future they would never reach. The cycle continues, checking magazines before vitals. In English class, we learn about writing fiction. Once upon a time, the student body spilled out of the school's front doors, but this morning, we are in mourning. As blood spills out the bodies of students behind school doors, why can't this real-life horror story be fantasy? I wish this was just a tale of heroes and villains. In history class, we learn the battles of Lexington and Concord fought in 1775, leaving 116 dead. the Battle of Gettysburg. It was fought in 1865, leaving 50,000 dead. Soldiers know they might die. Students didn't sign up for this. Children didn't think their lives were at risk. In history class, we go through wars in a few hours. This war is never ending unless we do something about it. I learned. Shooting at Sandy Hook happened in 2012, leaving 26 dead, and we are still fighting. The shooting at Robb Elementary happened in 2022, leaving 21 dead, and we are still fighting today. We learn in school that our lives are in danger every day. So to hide under our desks in fear of weapons and intention to kill, this is not normal. Students shouldn't have to be afraid. We fade. Our light grows dim with every passing drill. The news flashes again. Spirals from another barrel. Thoughts and prayers are all we know. Louder than the gunshots ringing, leaving us unhearing, turned away from the thousands weeping. When did schoolhouses and schoolyards become slaughterhouses and graveyards? When did red, white, and blue just become red, red, red? When did reading, writing, and arithmetic become birth and thus we must change this. Tighten laws where fear now chokes us. Bridge political divides and unite us. Ban guns instead of books that are true to us. Quit the small talk. Yeah. Because there is a clock. How much time do we have until the next death? It is too late when the gun's already cocked. No second chances when the gun's already shot.
Okay. All right, Elsie, can we get the score for Charlie?
Charlie got a 26.9.
26.9 for Charlie. I'm gonna read the scores. Okay. Oh wow, okay. 8.9. 9.2. 9.3. A 9.5. And a 9.8 for Zinnia. Okay, we're going to get settled in and comfortable for the next poet up. Everybody give a round of applause for Serenity.
I declare memorization.
Emmett Louis Till was an African-American boy, 14 years old. He hadn't got to live the rest of his life. I heard they put him to sleep before his bed was ready. I heard Till had a stuttering problem. Mama taught him to finger whistle when he couldn't talk his words. I heard a white woman heard a whistle in an aisle at Brian's grocery and meat market, and in that instance, Till became a target. I heard when the clouds became the sun's blanket and the sun went black. They took Till from his great uncle's house like they took the truth out of history class, and I heard they beat him. And his body was redder than a red stripes on the American flag, and afterwards dragged that boy out back and shot him in the back of the head. I heard it was summer when he died. While kids were floating in lazy pools in Mississippi, Till's body floated atop the Tallahatchie River. He had been floating for 3 days straight. When his mama found out, she didn't know how to differentiate that her 14-year-old son was now dead. And speaking of his mother, I heard she held an open funeral with an open casket for all to see. Till's body and swollen flesh displayed the brutalities of white supremacy, and his killers walked free.
Okay, can we get Zinnia's score?
Zinnia got a 28.
28 for Zinnia. Now we're going to read the scores for Serenity. We got an 8.1. Got an 8.9. Okay, we got a 9.6. We got another 9.6. And give it up for a 10. Coming to the stage now to spit our next poet, my apologies, Symphony.
All right, Symphony.
I'm Symphony, and I declare this poem to be memorized. Listen, children, I have a story to tell about 5 little girls in separate corners of the world who sang and laughed and danced and twirled. Pity these girls, for they had a warped view of the world.
Wow.
The first little girl, her name was Gussie, and she would make wishes in the field by her house. She would wish to fly like a bird and go to the land her parents sang about, a place called Africa. Africa, where her warm ebony skin could shine in the sunlight and her coils and curls could fluff out into the sunset. But for now, she sat with her head down, picking cotton in the field so the white men wouldn't come and whip her again, so she wouldn't end up like the other little girls who were caught being lazy. Africa, the land Gussie never lived long enough to reach. Chinoa was 7, and she loved her home. She loved the way the river flowed through the bend, and the food was never cold. But they loved her home too. They loved her home so much, they took her and her tribe off of it. Chinoa had to trek through unforgiving hills with unforgiving men with tumbers as fiery as their guns. Chinoa never came back, and that was a good thing. For the river, the food, her home was destroyed, for it lay beneath it, precious stones. One little girl, her name was Sarah, and she loved these magical gumdrops. Red, white, and blue, she ate them all, no matter how much her stomach ached afterwards or how much she threw up. She said it was like being in a dream world. When the police found her, she never woke up. Hallie loved hopscotch, and skipping along the colored lines in the sand by the river, a man was watching her. Was he her dad? No. No father would have seen a girl in pink overalls, stripped her, beat her dead. No, her father found her face down in the sand. Brittany was drawing in class. A line here, a line there. She was so focused on her art that she didn't hear her teacher screaming, "Run!" or see her classmates hide. The last word she heard was from the man with the gun saying, "Nice try." And on the news that day, they had the nerve to say, "God bless America." God bless America. The same America that celebrated slavery, stole land from its rightful owners, gave kids access to drugs, set free repeat offenders, and let anyone who wanted to have a gun. The same America where the red donkey and the blue elephant fight instead of coming together as one. The same America where ice cubes have the authorities to separate families. The same America that bombs little Iranian girls while they're still at school. God scorns America!
Right?
And those who know good, and those who know God, but do nothing, are still sinners.
She declared that, right? Okay. They want these points, that's all I'm gonna say. Can we get Serenity score, please?
Serenity score, including her memorization bonus, was 29.1.
29. Okay, now can we get the scores for Symphony? Guys, she got a 9.5. She also got a 9.7. She got a 10. And another 10. And another 10. Okay. All right. Let's woosah for a second. Let's neutralize the room. Everybody, give it up for our next poet, Dash.
If the end of the world was upon us, tears would blur my vision and the street signs and my feet in front of me. But it doesn't matter. Probably end up in a ditch anyways. Because I inherited my mother's sense of direction, and I don't pay attention in the morning when my dad drives me to school. I try to fall back asleep, and he asks what's on my mind, and I say, nothing. If the end of the world was upon us, I would end up in a ditch, and I would try to fall back asleep. And if I saw an ant, I'd ask what's on its mind, but I hear animals are more attuned to the earth than us. I hear if the end of the world was upon us, they would be buried already, buried into the topsoil, past the topsoil, into the mantle, into some little sweet spot they've found in between the core and the impending sun. The end of the world is upon us. The sky is really falling. There is an impending, exploding sun baking the world. This ditch is a grave and an oven, and the walls are closing in. And for these last few moments, I make my gong proud and thank God. I hope my mom remembers the last thing I said to her was, I love you. The end of the world is upon us. I am sitting in the corner of my classroom, a bullet in my chest before I get the chance to hit send on my message, I love you. The last thing I would have said is nothing, because we are taught to die silently. We are taught to stay silent so they can count our bodies easily. We become statistics easily. How easy is it to keep me in your thoughts and prayers if you don't have to acknowledge the fact that no matter how much my gong wants, I cannot bring myself to pray. The end of the world is upon us. And I watch my mom plot our escape, trying to meet people from the Seychelles so she can get her passport. Because she was born in the sweet spot between two eras. She was born in the sweet spot between colonialism and freedom. We live in the sweet spot between oppression and oppression. We live in the sweet spot there's only less oppression. This sweet spot that dictates who my heart beats for the moment of conception, that objects to any questions, focuses only on the suppression of expression, God forbid. Blue hair, tattoos, piercings that aren't earrings. We don't want diamond studs in the way of the sweet spots of skin we are taught to kiss. We don't want raging feminists in the way of femininity. We don't want independence in the way of the traditional woman we are taught to need, because we men, we're providers, guardians. We offer protection, your protection, from everyone else's rejection of today's society and all their obsessions with, why would you choose the bear? Don't you know, not all men? Don't you know 1 in 4 is none for us, because we only know our mom, our sister, and the unlucky girl we've shoved a ring onto? Don't you know how lucky you are to be catcalled? We've taught you from preschool he only picks on you because he likes you. He only ties your hands to the chair because he likes you. He only covers your mouth because he likes you. He only holds a gun to your head because he likes you. He only pulls the trigger because he needs you to be quiet. Don't you know the end of your world is upon you, so you might as well scream, but we've taught you from preschool to die silent. Your name won't be on the news because we don't let raging feminists get in the way of femicide, but I promise, no name girl, redacted girl, whole wide world girl, I love you. Girl, I'll keep you in my thoughts. Thank you.
Saxophones are getting loud. Wow. Okay. Can we get symphony score, please?
Symphony with her memorization bonus got a 30.7.
Okay, now let's get the scores for Dash. Right, Dash got a 9.3. Dash also got a 9.5. A 9.6. A 9.8. And a 10. All right. Coming to the stage next is Nyla.
When I look into the mirror, I see what everyone sees. I see my reflection. Then suddenly my vision shattered and all I can hear is oppressive whispering, quelling, commanding whispers that flood my senses with its rejections over my complexion. My reflection isn't then just broken anymore. It's changed. I
hear you don't deserve to be here. And I see fists ready to pound me into the very dirt my skin resembles. I hear you would have been better off in the field. And I see silver chains dragging out the mirror over the frame and around my bronze neck. It squeezes so hard that my throat soars, my breath ceases, and my eyes slide into my skull. Then up again to see the last portrait the whispers paint of me. I hear you're worthless, and I see nothing but my pathetic person. How can I see anything else? My ears are crushed beneath the weight of hate. How can I see anything else of myself when all the world wants me to see, tells me to see is that I'm nothing? A void existence that's meant to crumble beneath others. I see my reflection. It's me still, but no longer alone. Instead, I'm surrounded by a community. From the ground, I'm hoisted up and held to stand strong when the repugnant whispers return. The community, my people, begin to sing. They sing loud, proud, and over the hisses of hatred. They sing hymns of hope, tales of thriving, words of a wholehearted dedication to keeping us all holding strong. Their voices pound with the passion of one. I listen and I see everything. I hear that we are strong, and I see my chains have been broken and abandoned on the ground. I see that we are hardworking, and I hear that the fists have raised off of me and into the air in solid solidarity. I see that we are beautiful, and that under heaven's light we all shine, bright and beautiful, like gold, like the sun, a flame that will never be put down, a force that can never go out. And I find that the whispers holding me down, they have never stopped, but rather the fervent voices of my people that have helped me up to withstand it, have held us all up to keep strong forevermore as we reflect on our reflections. Thank you.
Yeah. Let's get the score for the first score. Dash got a 29.9. Okay. Now we're going to read the scores for Nyla. Okay. Nyla got an 8.9.
These judges.
You did. Okay. She got a 9.4. I'm sorry, a 9.3. A 9.5. And a 9.7. Okay. We are a little bit past halfway of the first round. Are you guys enjoying yourself? Okay. You ready for the next poet? I like that. Let's give it up for her mom.
My Houston is the greater hobby area, home of the hobby airport, where hobbies and passion never die. In my neighborhood, we look up at the plains that remind us of our journeys. On weekdays, there are children who come knocking on my door asking for fruits and fabrics in exchange for bills and quarters. On weekends, a Honduran immigrant hosts carne asadas and plays garifuna music that we dance to. In my neighborhood, we share laughter, language, and heritage that runs in our cracked sidewalks. See, in my Houston, we don't have a golden age. We just constantly evolve. America calls to us when it has problems because we are natural born innovators. We are a space city because we make space for everyone in our city. We are artists, leaving our legacy imprinted on buildings and graffiti with chopped and screwed records. However, we run out of fuel eventually. When we flood from death-inducing hurricanes, shuddering in terrifying blackouts, worsened by greedy corporations. In my Houston, we are conjoined by the grief we share. Post-hurricanes, post-apocalyptic, I see brown bayou water crawling in our streets. I look down to my reflection and I'm greeted by despair. I don't know if I've seen myself in the floods. I don't know how many people are in the floods. I don't know how many people are drowning in the floods. The Lone Star State leaves like a dying star in the cosmos. Ted Cruz runs off to Florida. Greg Abbott ignores climate change. Ken Paxton goes against the people. In Houston, we cry for help, but in Space City, politicians cannot hear us scream. We've learned how to rely on each other. How to work, school, and home with pride in our chest with survival. Hearts running like telephone poles. Bodies moving like cars on freeways. Hearts rich like oil mines. Whose stolen years are the energy to make the world go round. This city flows the same way my mother tongue does. Afroamericanos, asiáticos, árabes, que dan el significado de un Houstonian. To my neighborhood, thank you for showing me how to fly from each other's fuel, to shine light upon each other's light. And my Houston, I've learned that before anyone wants to mess with me, they have to learn how to be someone.
Welcome to the jam with me just
That had me gassed up, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Can we get Nyla's score?
I'm gonna go to 29.2.
28.9 for Dash and 29.2 for Nyla. Okay. Let me get the scores for her mom. Okay. Yeah. He got a 9.2. If y'all want to boo the judges, feel free. A 9.4. A 9.6. A 9.8. And a... Okay. Gonna woosah. Okay, gonna neutralize the room. Gonna make way for our next poet. Let's give a warm welcome to Maram.
My mom says that I'm beautiful, perfect the way I am. But what does she know? How can she say that when my forehead breaks out under my bangs, when my hair rises instead of falls, when the front camera catches things